Now, let me backtrack myself concerning space shuttle. We're going to begin at Revelation because chapter 4. This is the part where God speaking concerning the end of time. That's the reason I said the soldiers not coming back. America's not coming back from the Middle East. And the peoples need to be aware of the season we're at. That's the reason God has placed on my heart to put this there. If the peoples take and see these things and warn each other, everyone do, warn each other, and they see these things, then they can understand where we are and they can prepare themselves accordingly. They can call God while He's near. But if they know not these things and nobody warned them, telling them there is a prophet among them, then they can't know. It tells you in Ezekiel chapter 2, where God spoke to me after He identified the first space shuttle. I'm gonna start there, and then I'm gonna work my way back to Revelation chapter 4. That's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna no, let me start this. Here. Identify Revelation chapter 4, verse 5, verse 6. It says, and before the throne there was a sea of glass like unto crystal, and in the midst of the throne and round about the throne were 4 beasts full of eyes, before and behind. It means that this part where God has given us is something was happening up there. After they had taken and completed the space station, then they sit up, wait in the space station, and watch down on the earth. They take in, the significance of Jesus when He was baptized by John the Baptist, and He said Satan took Him to high places, and He there was 40 days and 40 nights tempting Him, and tell Him, if you worship me, I will give you this earth, the treasure of this earth. But these parts here bear the same similarities. As through that man's technology, and as they go up on the brink of earth, and they can look down in the east and see God's people as they hide in the caves and in their dwelling places, they have food enough up on the brink of the earth in the space station. They have the luxury of life and somewhat. Then they can watch and see this. But what it tells you here is, before I go here, let me go here and read this here, because I can get this in. Then I'll go back and take you back to the part I'm going to, Ezekiel. Let me show you something here. Let me show you something right here. Ezekiel chapter 1. That's going to be the best part here. It says, verse 10, as for the likeness of their faces, they four had the face of a man. Listen to that. The man was first, and the face of a lion was second on the right side, and they four had the face of an ox on the left side, and they four had the face of an eagle. The eagle always laughs because the eagle itself symbolizes the space shuttle. Eagle is a fowl of the earth. But this thing to go up, it's telling you its journey began on the earth, because an eagle is a fowl of the earth, not from outer space. Well, it was last. Then you know it had the ability to soar. It was a reusable aircraft, runway aircraft that can be reused over and over again. just like it had the ability to dominate, like the eagle had the ability to dominate over many fowls. This craft had the ability to dominate over other runaway aircraft, fly higher out in outer space and return. But it was significant. It used the ox as the source to indicate that this vehicle had to have the power of the ox to exit the Earth to defy gravitation. Ox symbolized by these three big jet engines on the back of this here space shuttle that needed ox power to take it up and defy gravitation. It needed the external fuel tanks in these giant solid booster rockets to thrust and carry the fuel station that this engine burned off fuel, liquid fuel out of here in order to get it into outer space. And this is what it was. And I'll come back and I'll speak that. Let's go back to Ezekiel chapter 10. Remember, the first one we mentioned was the man. Okay, Ezekiel chapter 10. Now, 14, verse 14. And everyone had 4 faces. The first face was the face of a cherub. The cherub is the front end. Is the front end right here. And then listen to the next part. The second face was the face of a man. The man was the navigator. It's a cherub and the man. The man was the navigator. He never put the line first. And the fourth face, like the eagle. Eagle always was the last, indicating the eagle was the symbol of the space shuttle itself. Let's go to Revelation. Revelation chapter 4. And look at the phrase. See which one did he put first. This is where we have to go. This is where we understand the significance of Bible prophecy, how God talks to us. Lion never was mentioned first. Okay, Revelation chapter 4, verse 6. And before the throne there was a sea of glass, like unto crystal, and in the midst of the throne and around about the throne were 4 beasts full of eyes, before and behind. The first beast was like a lion. The lion was spoken of first this time. With no cherub, with no ox, with no man. The lion was first. And listen to this here. And the second beast like a calf. And the third beast had a face as a man. The second beast was like a calf. That's these little small engines that have to thrust itself back to Earth with. Not these big giant engines, what brings it up off the ground. There's some hydrogen engines they made to push it back down in the Earth's atmosphere. That means it was out into outer space, but the lion was driving the vehicle this time. The space station was completed. In other words, once Barack Obama gave the orders to send the 30,000 troops there, space shuttle is going to be operated for military purpose, because it tells you in Isaiah chapter 14 and chapter 9, chapter 14 and chapter 21, it says he will go up on the brink of the earth. In chapter 14, I believe it is, and 21, he said, my God allowed. The lion was the one that taken it up that is crying. The lion is the vile person. The lion is the CIA. The lion is Mr. Babylon, who forsaken the covenant of God. He is Blackwater and a secret force here upon the face of this earth. So the lion became the navigator of the space shuttle, not a pilot. But the pilot was in there. It shows you the pilot was in there because before he mentioned the last part, he mentioned that the eagle, man before the eagle. Now, it said it was full of eyes. I got eyes all around this symbol here. That means the eyes is the symbol